been testing out the mid-range on NBA 2K25, having a high layup ability, also having a high ball control in this game, and it can really be very viable, especially if you like this style of play. As a KYRIE IRVING, one of my favorite players, one of my favorite point guards, being one of those scorers that can get around the rim, score at the mid-range, score in the post-up, and take a defender off the dribble, this type of build is a fun build to play on and still can be competitive to use. So I decided to end up doing a few tests when it comes to layups on this game. Y'all know a lot of people use real player percentage, some people use low risk, some people use normal, some people use high risk. But if you're someone that's going to be trying to do euros and stuff like that during traffic, I do recommend you to use normal or low risk, since you can somewhat still time it and get rewarded for it, versus you using real player percentage that you have no control, even though this build has a decent close shot and a good finishing ability around the rim. Now with the shooting ability, I've been messing around with the mid-ranges. Mid-ranges on NBA 2K25 are actually nice, and it's very difficult to stop, especially with the contest system on this game. And with the NBA being back, the best play to watch games live is on playback. If you want to end up watching games live for free and watching with me, all you gotta do is download playback, sign up, or even go on the desktop. Make sure you join my room, and don't forget to put on those post notifications so you can end up not missing out on the giveaways, the crazy NBA takes, and the crazy NBA debates, and a great community. With this build being a KYRIE IRVING type build, seeing that 6'2" with a 6'5" wingspan, 190 pounds, we all know KYRIE IRVING is a shooting guard, but we know he's played point guard before, and I wouldn't make a 6'2" at shooting guard on NBA 2K25. So we're gonna end up making KYRIE IRVING 6'2", 6'5" wingspan, 190 pounds. If you wanna put the weight a little bit lower, you can, especially if you're someone that's not gonna touch strength on this build. Now with KYRIE IRVING, we know he has a high ball control. You can give him a 99, 97. Hey, but for right now, if you're someone that has cap breakers, at least 5 to 6 cap breakers, this is the way I'm going to end up setting it up. We know KYRIE IRVING has a high ball control, 96, 97. So this build is going to be built for cap breakers. So if you're someone that don't think you're going to get cap breakers in the future, I would recommend you to at least set it up at 94 ball control, so you can get handles for days and ankle assassin on Hall of Fame. Now if you're someone that's going to end up hitting starter 3 for cap breakers, or even starter 4 so you can get the animations, you want to at least get to that 95 threshold. But we're going to keep the ball handle at 94. Speed with ball will be at a 91, but if you do want legend lightning launches, you will have to end up dropping the weight so you can end up getting that 94 speed with ball. And you could use cap breakers, but I prefer you to use 91. That's a cool little threshold to go for. Lightning launches on Hall of Fame versus legend is slightly different, but nothing too insane. But for the pass accuracy, we're not going to have too much. I would love this KYRIE IRVING build to have an 82 pass accuracy, but right now we're gonna rock with a 75 pass accuracy on this build. But if you want to go higher, just know you're gonna have to sacrifice on defense, and the defense that you're gonna have is somewhat decent, so you can be able to get lanes and stuff like that, even though the lanes have changed on NBA 2K25. Now with the layups, we know KYRIE IRVING, he can get to that lane, he can go crazy layups. If you want every layup package in the game, you have to go with 88 layup. But looking at 88 layup, the badges that you get is only float game on gold, layup mixer on silver, so that's going to make you push it up to a 93 layup bare minimum. So you would end up getting both of those badges on gold, with layup mixer being acrobat and all those special things. But when it comes to the driving dunk, a lot of people they put their KYRIE build with no driving dunk. You can if you want to, but we know KYRIE can dunk the ball. We've proven that he can dunk the ball, especially in that past season with the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to end up giving him a 55 driving dunk. 55 is the bare minimum, but if you want to push it up just to get a certain dunk package, I would say 60 is somewhat in between. 65 is the highest you would go, but I would say 55 is literally the perfect actual rating for a KYRIE type of build. But when the dunk package begin at a 55, you can get Klay Thompson dunk package that's like more of a rim grazer, straight arm tomahawk off one. That's very good to use. But if you want to use athletic hanks and things like that, you can use hank off ones. That's at a 55 driving dunk. And if you want athletic hangs off one, you're gonna have to have that 65 driving dunk. One of the best actual dunk packages that you can use that has safe dunks. Now you can really glide with using athletic hangs off one, but you have to have a 65 driving dunk to use athletic hangs off one. Now with this build going with a 55, we know KYRIE IRVING works in the post. If you're someone that does not care about the post work, I'm gonna be honest, you don't have to put this, but it don't cost that many attributes, so we're gonna use this to get post fade phenom on silver with having that 70 post control. But with the shooting ability on this build versus the next build I'm going to show you, this is going to be more mid-range. This is going to be the high mid-range shooting type of build that be able to let you end up hitting crazy mid-range shots. Now with this being able to max out at a 97 mid-range, you're going to be able to have every Hall of Fame badge that you want, especially when it comes to Deadeye, Mini Marksman, Set Shooter, and Shifty Shooter on Hall of Fame. Now when you end up doing this, you got cap breakers. I recommend you to end up putting your actual mid-range to a 94. You can end up using +3 to get 97, so you get all your badges that you want on Hall of Fame. So when you get to your 3-point rating, it's not going to be too crazy. You can rock it with an 85 3-pointer or 86 is your choosing, but 85 or 86, you can't go no wrong because this build is going to be insane because you're going to unlock all the jump shots that you want. Now, when it comes to the defense aspect of this build, we know KYRIE's not the best defender, but we're going to put some defense on this build. 74 perimeter, you get on ball minutes on bronze, challenger on bronze, pick dodger on bronze, nothing too crazy. You are 6'2", so I'm not really expecting that much. But when it comes to the steal on this build, and I know lanes has been nerfed in this new patch, so it's going to be a decision that you have to make. You can go 85 or you can just stop at 79. That's literally the two options to me. You can do 85 and you get interceptor on go, and that's cool with you, but interceptor right now, it just seems like it's a very broken thing in the game that you can't get a lane. So you can rock out with the 79 and you can end up upping your perimeter if you want to, but anyway it go, lane steals in this game, if you got Hall of Fame, even legend, it's going to be hard for you to get a lane, but to get a better chance, I would still recommend go. And I know y'all might see the interior, like why do you have a 50 interior? 50 interior is always my minimum threshold. Some people might go 40 since you are on a small guard, and for my block, I do have a 50 block because 50 is literally the threshold you need to even get close to even getting a contest or even getting the animation to get a contest on NBA 2K25, very similar to 2K24. But when it comes to the speed and agility, the speed is at 86, the agility is at 80. You can go higher if you want to, but when it comes to the strength, a lot of you guys might not touch this, but only reason I have a 67 strength is for physical finisher on silver and strong handler on silver. If you don't think you're going to use those or you don't care about those, you don't have to. As you see, we got a little bit left over, so I can end up putting this at a 61 block. But if you're someone that wants a rebound on this build, you have to put your ball handle to a 93, your three-pointer to an 85, and then you will end up putting on offensive or defensive rebound to get that 60 rebound. But for the takeovers you get a decent amount of takeovers. You get about almost 20 plus takeovers on this build that you can choose from. And with the build name that you get, it is crazy. You will be called the KYRIE IRVING Walking Bucket Build. Now, Walking Bucket KYRIE IRVING build sounds so tough to me, and it fits perfectly for the type of player he is. Now, a lot of you guys, if you're not like a mid-range type of player, I got y'all. I'm gonna show you a build with a high three-pointer that's very similar to this, but you won't get the name Walking Bucket, but you will also get a cool name. But a lot of you guys might be asking, what dribble moves are you going to be using on this build? These are the sigs that I use. This is what I use on my other builds until I actually get like Steve Francis, things like that. Then I'll end up changing it, but for right now, these are all the sigs that I use for my actual 6'2", 6'3", 6'4s. And the only animation I switch between is literally the Zach LaVine step back or the Luka Doncic step back. That's your preference and that's your choice. But for my guys that's going with the high three-pointer, you got cap breakers. This build will have a 94 three-pointer. You will only have to use a cap breaker on your three-pointer just to get that 95. That's the only big difference. You only use one cap breaker on your three-pointer, and then the rest of the 4 or the 5 or even the 10 cap breakers that you got left, you can put them in a lot of different places. You can have your mid-range at 86 or 85. 85 is the threshold to get the best make percentage when it comes to shooting mid-ranges. It opens up your window the biggest. But when it comes to the 85 mid-range, you could go 86 and put a +4, so you can have a 90 mid-range on this build with a 95 three-pointer. Just keep that in mind. 90 mid-range and a 95 three-pointer on this build with having a 94, 93 ball control. Now, since if you got at least 6 actual cap breakers, I would say +1 on a 94, and then if you want to put your mid-range up a little bit more, you don't have to. 85 can get the job done, but I would still prefer you to put those cap breakers on your ball handle, as I would require you to go 93 on this build. 93, you put 2 cap breakers or 3 cap breakers, so you can end up getting that handles for days, the ankle breaker, and then you get the unpluckable all on Hall of Fame, unless you end up putting +4, so you can end up getting that legend handles for days on this build. Now, when it comes to the layup, we have a 93 layup again, but like I told you before, it's between you going 55 drive and dunk or 65 drive and dunk or even 60. But for this build, I end up having a little bit more attributes than the other build. You go 65 drive and dunk if I really wanted to. So when you do post control, we got the 70, so we get the post fade phenom on silver, the bare minimum that we're gonna end up getting on this build. And then you got the defense, 85 still, and then you got the 74 perimeter. If you want to go higher than that, you can. But this build will have a 50 interior defense. If you want to go 40, you can. But when it comes to the block is going to be max. And then when it comes to the rebound, we're going to have a 60-something rebound on this build. 60 rebound, 60 block, 50 interior, 74 perimeter, 85 still on this build. With the agility being at 80, you could rack it up a little bit higher if you want to. And then we got the strength, 67. Now, you got a lot of attributes you can mess with. You can end up taking the strength down if you wanted to, if you're not going to use it, and end up putting it somewhere else. Now, with this build, you got 55 driving dunk, but watch when you change a few things. I'm only messing with a few attributes and I'm already getting a 65 on my driving up because I made sure I put my block at 61 and I put my defensive rebound on 61. But the free throw is not high, but it's still manageable to be able to knock down free throw shots with no problem. But for this build, how it's set up, it's very similar to the other build. You just got more when it comes to defense. You got a higher block, you got a rebound, then you have a higher dunk package, but now you got a higher three-pointer. It's based on what place you want to go to. The inside out ISO specialist, which is just another name for a walking bucket, just don't got the nice little name or nice little ring to it. But look, if y'all boys would end up making a high three-pointer or a high mid-range, I don't feel like you can go any wrong with any of these builds when it comes to being a Kyrie Irving type build. But look, if y'all boys ready to see this gameplay on this Kyrie Irving build, let's get this video to like 700 likes. Make sure y'all boys subscribe, make sure you turn on post cases if you haven't yet. I'm gonna see y'all boys in the next one, and make sure you check out the videos on the stream, man.